Has this ever happened to you? You apply for a job and everything sounds like it's going great and they just need to hear back from you. Or you meet someone and you agree to meet again, or you offer to do something for someone, whatever that is, and you just don't show up. You don't respond, you don't reply, you don't show up. Hmm. Ever wonder why? Could be what's running through your head is, what if I'm not as good as they think I am? What if I'm not the person they think I am? Years ago, I had an amazing opportunity to teach art to kids on a Canadian TV network. This was when I was a professional full-time artist. I was ecstatic about this, and because I love teaching young people, and it's always been a passion of mine. I met with the producers, we hit it off. The energy was great. I was excited. They were excited. The only thing I needed to do was create a syllabus for my content so they could approve of it. I went home and they never heard from me again. Why did I stop myself? Well, this wasn't the only time I did that. I found that when I got close to something and not take action on it, it became really comfortable, even though it was something I really wanted. My fear was, what if they find out I'm not as good as they think I am? So I learned and taught myself to avoid my next best step. And then I would just disappear. Before I go any further, allow me to introduce myself. For those we haven't met, Susan Lazar Hart, your transformational mindset coach, creator of the Congruent Living Academy and the Congruent Living Methods. Well, one of the reasons I love my work as a transformational mindset coach is because I know what it's like to say you want something only to stay in your comfort zone, no matter how uncomfortable it is, and not follow through on your dreams. What I also know is to change a deep pattern like this, it's not done with one gesture. Creating change is about baby steps. And when you do those baby steps, you stack the wins. Stacking the wins is when you give yourself evidence of the new thoughts, beliefs, and habits that you're choosing instead of the old stories that you use to keep you stuck. Now, I'm going to give you 4 key reasons people with great intentions don't break out of the cycle of their limiting beliefs. Come on, come with me. Comfort is number 1. When what you're doing is familiar, even if it doesn't give you the results you want. Yeah, well, I always do that, or it always turns out that way. I know they're not going to like what I do. Changing who you are requires you to get really uncomfortable from the inside and out, not from what you perceive people will believe. In this reality, most of us are taught to avoid discomfort. Whatever that looks like, whatever it takes, avoid it rather than go deep and really work with what it is that's creating that discomfort and changing it. Number 2, your environment, the places and people you spend your time with who are content on things being the way they've always been. Anybody get caught in that kind of cycle? Who are you to change, they often say. Many of my clients realize that they've had people in their lives who felt threatened if there was even a mention of creating something different, of being different, of losing the weight, of creating more money, of opening a business, and being different, being that different from the same old way that they were brought up with what kept their family, their familiar people, their environment comfortable. It wasn't actually congruent with creating a life they loved. Now, this is why I've created my laser coaching and an online community so people can change in an environment that encourages them to create a magical life. Number 3, old stories. My story that I hung on to for years was, what if people find out I'm not as good as they think I am? So rather than showing up to find out, I would disappear. This would then bring on waves of self-judgment, which is the 4th reason people don't break out of their limiting cycle and their limiting beliefs. Number 4, getting stuck in the cycle of self-judgment is a really hard way to live. It's hard on your body, it's hard on your being, it's hard on your creations, it's hard on your future. It just doesn't work. It's deeper than just being stuck in a cycle. When this self-judgment cycle becomes the habit, people are begging to believe that this is their real life, that they don't deserve the good things, the abundance, that it's not there for them. So they don't actually show up in their lives for themselves. Here's your way out of this. You have to be willing to be aware of the patterns and the thoughts and the beliefs and habits that are keeping those patterns in place. You can change all of these 4 elements. How? Baby steps. Take small actions. Having a guide to support you in being consistent with these 4 steps makes all the difference. None of us can do this alone. I invite you to explore my laser coaching program. It's 6 months of me by your side to get out of the self-judgment cycle and into living a magical life, perhaps one you've always wanted, that was truly possible, in creating a life you love.